Okay. We're starting the open space meeting on November 25th at 7:04. And we are being videoed. And we can review the minutes. Ellen isn't here tonight, but if we want to have you, everybody read the minutes from the last meeting?
I read them, but I wasn't there, so I can't.
Hmm?
I read them, but I wasn't there, so I can't.
Right.
Say one
I
way or
wasn't
the other.
either. Yeah. But you want a copy to read them over? Or just, yeah,
Let's just pass to the next meeting.
okay, all right. When Ellen's here. Okay. Well, now we're up to the elect a vice chair.
So what brought that up?
We really don't need one. I mean, they just, Lisa takes over for me when I'm not making it, so, you know, that's, you want to be the vice chair,
I
just.
hereby nominate Lisa.
I second
Didn't get a
it.
chance to say a word.
You're off the Christmas list.
Yeah. Lisa and I both been on this committee for over 20 years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
We're at the burnout point, and we're like, okay, if you start, I'll do it if you do it. But we
Yeah.
wouldn't mind passing it on to some, you know.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, we're not pushing anything down anyone's throat. But actually, we still have, what, 2 more years or something like that. But we're weaning you. If you want to stay. Yeah, no, you've got another big committee you're big in, so.
Sylvester
Don't let that
knows
stop
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I've got another one too, or two. But anyway, all right. So elect vice chair, all in favor of Lisa? Aye?
Hi, did she accept
Okay.
it?
Doesn't matter.
Congratulations.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Thank
Fine,
you.
right?
Lisa, till she's done. Yep. All right. And, okay, now we have a 61A from the, yeah, we'll do the Chase one first, which is one we've done before. And we said we didn't, actually, I don't think there was enough information, and we voted not to vote on it. So, this is the same lot, it's just a new person looking at it, because the last person probably didn't get the loan. So do you want to look at the,
So does it
it's
have
all
a,
exactly the same as the previous one.
what is a purchase and sales attached?
Yeah. For the new one. Okay, this was January, this was the last one. So this actually has the best map with it, the old one. If you want to pass it around, this is the location. And the new one is, okay, yep, here's the purchase and sale.
Where's Orange Street?
It goes into Rhode Island, it's off Pine.
Off of South Street.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Douglas Pike,
No, 96, South Street.
96. It's orange?
You go South Street and then take a left on Pine.
Yeah.
And then right on Orange.
Right on
and it
Orange.
Turns into Collins Taft down by Round Top.
Okay.
Sorry, let's just go down Douglas Pike and across and take.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Between them. Yep. Purchase and
So
sale.
according, this is lot 1, most of it's
Wet.
wetland, delineated wetland, so
How do you know
This is
that
just a
from
copy
this?
of that.
see it says wetlands right there.
Okay.
And all this dotted line.
Inside of this?
Yeah.
It's all wetland?
Was there a copy?
It's not a, I don't know, it doesn't really give you much information. There it is.
A lot of room for a house.
Was it 5 acres? It's the first one in on the right when you, there's a little corner on Pine, but this is the first one on the right.
Is that what he or she was,
I think we might have done it, I think we did this way back in January and we voted not to take it, and it's not the same one as the other.
Okay, that's this one.
Yep.
Okay. So it's kind of like this. and whatnot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not consistent with the North Arrow, which really throws it off a little bit, but I guess to fit it
So,
in.
so they're trying to get,
They're taking that out of the 61A of the whole
Their property,
group.
because see, this whole, that's all Chase property, and this is
Mhm.
all Chase property, which is under 61. It looks like they've already taken that piece out,
Mhm.
I guess.
So if they
that's-
take this out, then they have to pay tax on it.
Yep, right. Mhm.
But then that puts it now in.
So now, it's
David.
because someone has offered them X amount of dollars.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
so we have the right,
Seven.
as the town, because it's in 61A, to say, we want that land because it connects this, and that,
Ah, okay.
and we will pay that asking price that you have been offered.
Okay.
That
It's
money.
the right of first refusal.
Right.
Does it connect to anything we want?
It's more wetlands, there's a pond in the back,
Mhm. Wetlands are great to
Yeah.
preserve and,
right?
you know.
Right, but they can't build in it, so
Well,
they're preserving it for us.
Either way, right?
Yeah.
Without-
Well, they have to go to conservation and figure out how they can,
You can fit a house in there.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know what delineation exactly it is, but
Seems
They'll
like a
figure out how
big
to
part
do
of that property is wetlands, you know, not a
We'll
lot
build a
left.
huge pile in the corner and plop a septic system in a house
I
sometime.
suppose.
We'll bank the house right into it.
Hmm.
Yeah. No price, is there a price in there?
yeah, but,
Yeah.
I mean, the chapter piece, describing the chapter is a photocopy that's illegible at this point.
Yep, and here's the
Also-
first one that came, so that one's legible.
Okay.
Just like that came, that's the first one. The second one's
Yeah.
yeah. Just so it shows that it's in 61. Right. So, would we like to vote on whether we want to, that we're not interested in our first right of refusal? Or, I mean, I don't think that the land is worth the town buying it.
Right, but ours is a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, right?
Mhm.
So it's a recommendation
Right.
that they pass on.
Our
The
right of first refusal, the open space. So all in favor of passing on?
Wait, that's
first-
my motion, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of passing on the first right of refusal for this Chase property?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, next one is, put this together, the Chesborough piece, which is tucked off West Street.
Is this the map?
Yeah, is that the same thing? Yeah. Let's see, this is, so let's see, it shows, this is tricky too. So we need to have the north arrow facing north.
He's
when I-
giving them a right away through his property to get in there to build a solar.
Mhm. And he owns all that property. So Gadori Homes owns. Maybe he had sold it to them initially. This whole piece, you know.
We're owns on, this way. substantial properties.
Mhm.
This is just a tiny-
Is that commercially zoned?
Good question.
I didn't look that up.
It's,
Would that be on one of these maps on the wall? Do we have a zoning map up there?
Aquifer protection area.
Is this piece?
I think what's happening is that they're accessing through this piece to get to this.
I see where you're at, it's farther out, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
To this piece.
So, because he had, whatever his property is, sitting here.
Now it says land to be removed.
Is this the pipeline? That's the pipeline.
This piece.
So it's not really on, it's back from West Street.
Correct, it's not frontage.
Okay.
Does this have lease area 2 on it at all? Or is this,
I don't know. Figure it out.
what, is this labeled as an exhibit? What the heck is half this stuff?
Removal plan.
I think that's exhibit B, location and acreage of the property. Oh, here's exhibit A. Which is the same, this is bigger, it's
Mhm.
blown up.
Looks like it's,
So there's a corner piece from the property on West Street.
looks like it's rural agricultural in that area.
So I don't know how the zoning works.
So the Board of Selectmen have already given this property an okay?
To buy.
No, to pass it.
Pass it, I see.
Mhm.
This is
Right.
commercial use. So what happens here is that the Chesbros have this property in chapter 61 tax protection.
Mhm.
They are not selling it. They are continuing to retain the property,
Oh,
but they are changing the use. It is not agriculture, forestry, et cetera. It is solar.
so they're taking it out, but they're not selling it.
Right, but the
So
law
there's no
requires,
price, yeah.
yes, it requires them to notify the town. The town can still act, if it wanted to do so, to take the property.
Mhm.
But this is a change of use. It is not
Yeah.
Hmm.
an acquisition or a sale. So why is this on our agenda if they've already given the okay?
Right. That's what I said to Suzanne. She's like, well, just, it's in your box.
Yeah, well,
So,
forget it.
We'll pass over this one. All in favor of?
No, if they've already done it, I didn't.
Yeah,
didn't
let's
have-
waste our time.
Yeah. Yeah, they've already signed it and everything on the 5th day of November, so,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Next, we've got the survey.
I was disappointed, only 85 respondents?
Wait.
well, no, because
I have some.
we've got all these, we've got these paper copies that haven't been entered as well.
2, 3, 4, 11. Mine.
So, I mean, we can,
Yeah, almost 100.
yeah, it's nearly 100, that's not really bad.
I could get a
Um,
few more votes and a few more fill-ins and make it 100, and then it will be a nice round figure.
No, if we want to leave it there, there's no rush, but if you look at the draft analysis that I sent out, is it really going to change
No.
anything?
No, probably not.
So if you want to, you know, we'll enter those results, responses in, and then we can basically do a final or whatever, and if we want to do an article for the paper or something like that to share the
Mhm.
results, but,
Mhm.
Yeah, with the PDF thing, I couldn't push it across to see all the answers.
Yeah.
oh, I believe I can give you all access to that,
Mhm.
because that's what I didn't pull off. I didn't pull off the individual comments.
Right,
that-
you could see it as little snippets
Yeah.
of a few, yeah.
The other thing is, for some reason when I made it a PDF, I only got a couple copies.
I
The
picked that
income
up.
piece didn't come out.
Mhm.
Did it print the last question?
I didn't see it on mine.
What is your income bracket?
No.
No, it gets cut off, so this is what that looks like.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why it did that, but,
Hmm.
Yeah, we got, it's a high-income group that answered this.
That answered, right,
mhm.
exactly.
We got 96 well-off people, not 95.
But I mean, there's decent support, you know,
Mhm.
for open space, and
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the answers, you know, there's definitely some long, that shows they support certain things.
Right.
A lot of people go to Wallem Lake and Douglas State Forest,
yep.
which is good.
And I thought it was very interesting that they'd like, almost everybody wants to see trail maps and recreational
Online.
information online.
They don't want our little maps anymore, they're paper.
No, they just want it
Yeah.
online, so
Yeah.
they don't have it kicking around the house forever,
Yep.
but. So I can, you know, we can enter these, and then we can basically export, so I can export the data in a CSV file, but I can, and that would show, I think, all the responses
Mhm.
where there was an opportunity to put, you know, an actual
Oh, that's the one.
comment, yeah. And I can send that around.
I was actually surprised when where to get a lot of the information about the trails, word of mouth and stuff like that, and this and that, and then there was a lot of others. So Trail Forks was one app, which is a trail app, and then
Mhm.
it
Oh,
says
yeah.
BSTRA. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very surprised to see that.
yeah.
It was mostly
That's interesting.
social media and word of mouth, yeah.
Mhm.
Some town website, but
Mhm. I think.
It'd be great if there was more.
Craft and all of their,
Yes.
are on
Oh.
Trail Forks.
Oh, I don't know if on Trail Forks, I know they're pretty good with all their maps on,
Mhm.
line with the Grafton, that and the Grafton Land Trust.
And Great Western Land Trust does that, but there's one person that does it all, and she goes away, there won't be updated, you know, because she's controlled it right from the start.
Yeah.
So.
It was interesting to see the zip codes too.
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah,
much
I
as
tried
could
to,
figure out.
I went to the zip code book, the phone book, and I was like, this could take years. It's
No,
not,
just plug it
it's
in
not.
on the computer.
Oh, yeah, just.
Yeah, it's alphabetical, not, but yeah, I was like, I'll do 1, 2, forget it, I'm not doing it anymore,
Yeah.
I'll go online and do it.
And most of the respondents were aged 45 to 64,
Mhm.
you know, so that we do have that boomer population or whatever that
Mhm.
has
Mhm.
time to
Okay.
get out in the woods and everything, yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
anybody have any other comments or things they want to point out, or?
Nope, so we'll have, do you want to take the rest of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll plug these in, and we'll see what happens, but especially to maybe, I don't know, maybe the next meeting, put it on that we look at the comments in more depth or something,
Mhm.
because that might be helpful to us.
Mhm.
What we should have put on here is, you know, are you interested in volunteering to do blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
Well, that's the next survey.
Yeah.
And I forgot to make an announcement at town meeting the other day, so.
Yeah.
But I think it's a decent response for
Mhm.
Yeah.
what it was, and so.
100 people, well,
Cool.
yeah. We've
No, but
done it
it's a-
before.
It's also an easy way to at least collect some data.
These are the people that are interested in doing it, or
Yeah.
wherever they saw it, you know?
Yep.
I mean, if they go to the senior center, or the here, or the
Or read about it in the
library.
paper,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep. 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 All right.
But we should probably share this information with the Board of Selectmen and the Conservation
Mhm.
Commission too,
Mhm.
at some point. And recreation.
Yeah, maybe they'd be interested. All right. The Keven phase plan, we talked about this 2 times ago when I was here, but we're gonna break it up into, like, when we were there with them, we were gonna break it up into projects so that it was more of
Mhm.
a attackable thing.
Yep.
So maybe the first would be, well, you were gonna talk to Steve Zist. Did you talk to Steve about the sign at all?
No, I didn't do that.
Maybe I'll look at the rest of it and see if I can
Maybe
make it fall
seeing
into
him
place.
Saturday. Something else that we're
Mhm.
working on, a project at the Douglas State Forest. So I could, if I make myself a note to remember to ask him at the
Wait,
same time.
I've got an extra piece of paper if you want.
So,
Yeah, this is on the southeast Main property.
so is this something the town is supposed to do, signage for,
Well,
that the
It
town
was
owns
my
the
un-
property?
Yeah, it's my understanding, like they have from Maryland Doobie over at Mumford and Manjog Road, and like they have from my dad over at, on Mumford Road. There's, and U Street for the Brown property. Anyway, there's a, you know, it looks like a park property
Yep.
sign, and it says something, and I thought there was an agreement with the family when they deeded it to the town that
Their
that
name would
particular
be on it.
parcel would be, yeah, would recognize. So before we try to configure anything, we were thinking we should know, like, how much space do they need for the sign, and is it going where we think we can park cars, or,
Plan it all out for the
Yeah.
parking,
and I think some of the abutters were gonna work on the, a bit on just clearing up the walking.
I think they've probably been working
Trail,
on it
yeah.
gradually. As they want to, you know, it's like everybody's busy, so it's
Yeah.
in their backyard, they want it, they can.
So it's very difficult to, when we were last out there, we were trying to figure out how to move these boulders
Mhm.
so it would be wide enough to walk a horse through.
Mhm.
And there's no good solution there. And so we said, let's at least clean it up and get it situated so that you could walk through as a, you know, to access other trails or whatever
Mhm.
on your own 2 feet, and then see what we could do later on to add
Like
4 more feet.
splitting the rocks and all that,
Yeah. And it's pretty clearly delineated, so that's not really a problem, it's just a, I think when the house on the south side was put in, all these boulders were piled up, and then when they ran the line that said, oh, this is how you can access the back parcel, they include, you know, it's just,
Mhm.
it's just a line on a map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody,
Mountain
I don't know if
there, yeah.
anybody went out there and saw that you need to be a mountain goat to get over them, but,
Mhm.
and that owner right now seems very,
the south side.
Yeah, the south.
Compliant to letting mowers walk through her yard, yeah.
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 But it's not always gonna be that way, so how do we
Mhm.
manage it for the future? I don't know.
Yeah. But the sign's a start. Spring's coming.
They
Yep.
say you don't plant a tree for yourself, you plant it for your grandkids.
Right.
Something,
Exactly. Did you read Overstory yet?
have enough.
That definitely shows you why.
Mhm. And their grandchildren.
Mhm.
All right, so if we know where the sign's going, then maybe we can plan a little more.
All right, school property trails. We haven't done anything on them for a while.
I followed up with one person for survey costs. Let's see. There was two prices. In order to survey in the property lines, we would go into the field to recover the record monuments, painting and flagging up what we find. We would then survey them into a controlled trav, I don't know what that is, and check them against the record plans, holding the monuments that fix well. What is that supposed to be holding? We would then go back again and stake out the missing corners and stake the lines. This would be a 3-day minimum in the field and a day in the office doing calculations of record plans, field survey, traverse, and finally stake out the information. That would cost $4,450. If we just flag the walls and stake the property lines where no walls are found, the cost would drop to $3,300. And that was from Rich Goslin. Andrews has not gotten back to me. They said they would. I followed up with another email, they haven't got back to me, so I'm just in the process of gathering.
What parcel,
Close.
sorry, what parcel is that for again?
It's,
Because there's some of the bounds that we don't know where, like, this piece right here from coming off of Martin,
Oh,
that goes in
okay.
up here, so I definitely want to know where those bounds are, because you've got a fairly narrow access, and then there's
Yeah.
other pieces that we need, like especially over here close to 16
Yeah.
by Porter's property and up in this corner up here, so there's areas here, like this is a stone wall, some of it we don't have to worry about, but there's other areas that I definitely need to know where the bounds are.
Okay.
I got this out. I also got to thinking, so I went down to the highway department to talk to John, and John says I need to talk to Bill Cundiff. I emailed him on the 20th and he has not gotten back to me on this. So my question was, from the railroad bed down to where this access point is, exactly how much does the town own on the road? Is there enough space on the side here that we could actually just make
Trim
it
that.
flat? And you'd have a little dirt sidewalk to get off the road to walk down.
Yeah, what is it usually 20 feet from the center line? Is that what it is?
And John said it's different places. He goes, there's no one thing that
Oh.
fits the whole thing. So he goes, Bill's the one to give you that information. So I'm following up on that too, just as an aside. I've got to go back out there. The measurements we took, I have no idea where I wrote them down.
Oh, no.
So I need to remeasure that stream, going across that stream for the length, because then I can get, this winter, I can get some,
Tomorrow's supposed to be a nice day.
on bridges and stuff like that.
Can you go in tomorrow
Okay.
So I just,
before it freezes up?
because it's November already, and we have annual town meeting in May, and because I think that warrant is usually set in March, if we want to pursue any funding to do this survey work, we should keep that in mind.
I was thinking of maybe going after a grant, some grants.
You still might need matching though.
Yes, anything that we can get matching is a good thing, whether it be in-house type of thing, volunteer labor, would be good.
Yeah. I'm just saying, keep that time frame in mind,
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, we just had a cleanup meeting in November, but
Yep.
there's usually,
Well, it's on my agenda to pull together
okay.
prices here
Mhm.
to see what this whole thing's gonna cost. This bridge right here is gonna be the biggie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yep.
You could just put a jump.
You know, but you put a nice bridge in there and do it right, then it's gonna
Yeah,
last.
and it's just, you know, it opens up all that property behind
Mhm.
this kid, for the kids just to walk to school, you know, what an
Yep.
odd idea. We used to skate to school, right?
We used to walk to school uphill, 10 miles,
Both
both
ways.
ways,
Yep.
barefoot in the snow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
that's where we
no,
are
that's
on
great.
that.
That, it was interesting to be able to widen that would be,
Mhm.
Yeah, I just happened to,
we
I
walked
wonder how
around
much they
along the
have.
right side, but yeah.
Mhm.
how much space. It would be easier to do it on this side, because there's no houses right here.
Mhm.
Well, there are right here, but for the most part.
Yeah.
And just walking it, it looks like it's easy enough to. But anyway, so it looks like I need to call him to find out how to get that info.
Yeah,
And if that's something that the town could do with their equipment, the highway department, just, you know,
grade it.
grade, you know,
basically.
cut it back and
Yeah.
grade it, that's a match.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, that's a match for the grant, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So that's where we are at.
great.
Pullett property.
Yeah.
I had actually brought this up way back when, and imagine my surprise when I saw this in the listing and the, taken for taxes. There's 2 sections of the old Grand Trunk.
Wow,
Is,
that's the one you were talking about before, yeah.
Yes, to add to the trail system. So
Wow.
I don't know how this whole tax taking system works.
are those parcels both open now? Or is there a house
It-
on one?
It's open, it's a railroad bed.
Okay,
The old
that-
railroad
but that's
bed.
the only, okay.
It's fine.
Let's see, let me find them. That's Depot Street. Okay, so it would be this piece right here, and this piece right here. What these slash marks are? Those
Yep.
are the 2 pieces of the old railroad bed that she owns.
Okay.
This is the Southern New England Trunk Line Trail right here.
Yep.
So you've got, and there is a trail off here off the pipeline. So there's access to do loops.
Mm-hmm.
And
And who owns, so she owns this?
Yep.
Are there residences along here? Do these people use it?
No, that's all woods. There are no houses up in here.
And how about along here? It's cut through here and
I'm not sure between here and here. I think there's a huge disconnect.
there. And everybody uses it for driveways over this part of town.
Yeah, so if people wanted to do a loop, they could, you know, down here, walk the road, come up and do it this way. At least it gets them off part of the road, so.
Yeah,
So ever
so
how the whole tax taking
yeah,
system
they
works, I
usually-
don't know.
they attack it every once in a while. They'll take a random bunch of tax-taking properties and auction them off. And they did it maybe 2 years ago, or something. Not that long ago, they did a bunch of them.
Well, I'd like to, I don't know how, if it ends up being taken for the town, put in a request that we would like to
Right.
keep that.
Make it chapter 97. So the thing is, with these are very low amounts, so is this, you know, that one time they weren't paid, or is it multiple times?
I would say it's probably just the one time. That's the first time I've seen that ever listed.
So, you know,
She may end up paying and.
she could have gone in and paid it already,
Yep.
or, but, yeah, it would be, you know, if we could go in and sit down with Beth McKay someday and have her basically do a little workshop for us on how the tax taking works, I don't know, in conjunction with the tax collector or whatever, that would be really interesting, because there are some key parcels that, if they were taken for back taxes, it would be great to add to our open space and
Mhm.
parklands, because,
That's another venue.
yep,
I would be good with that,
yep.
'cause I would like to learn how that works and.
It's pretty convoluted, but now Uxbridge, that's the interesting thing with Uxbridge is that they basically, how did that work? They identified the properties and then they basically sold the process to a third party.
Hmm.
So the third party is out there trying to squeeze people to pay their taxes, and then they get a percentage of whatever they collect.
Mhm.
So it's a different
Hmm.
situation. I don't believe we did that here, but it would be, yeah, it'd be really good to sit down and,
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost, it would be nice just to have it passed by all the committees, just like the 61A or whatever of anything that's gonna be taken up by the town.
I know some, in bigger municipalities, I think in Springfield, a while back, they used it to add to some of their parks and stuff like that, because
Mhm.
parcels
They
would.
need it.
Yeah, well, but they'd fall in disarray or whatever, and then the town would take them, and there was open space or some other committee that would look and say, okay, exactly how does this, you know, because it's gotten much better, but there are parcels out there that haven't been paid in decades, and they would just sit there, because the owners were trying, some people would know who the owner was, but it would be listed as, yeah, unknown, so
Mhm.
they just, you know, if anything ever happened, they'd pop up and pay something, but they basically just scoffing,
Mhm.
so. Well, that's, yeah, it's good to keep an eye on that, that's great you saw that.
I always read through that.
Yeah, we'll have to start looking.
Know where to start.
I
Yeah.
just find it very interesting. But
And what paper is that?
that was, yeah,
Tribune.
Tribune. It was in the Tribune, that was on October 4th. So, that's that.
That could be our new business.
Yeah, set up a workshop.
Mhm.
Yeah, at least, and then they would know that we're, you know, however the
Yeah.
process works, that we
We're interested.
We want to be, yeah,
Now, who's
involved in
Beth
the.
McKay? I'm sorry.
That
She's
is
the
the assessor,
Okay.
but the assessor works in conjunction with the tax collector,
Mm-hmm.
and so they could say, okay, this, the assessor says they haven't paid X number of years or whatever, and then, they work in conjunction, so you can see what property is what. So we have to figure out if it's, you know, if we need one or both of them to sit with us, and even if it's just for an hour to
Mhm.
understand the process, it would be
Mhm.
great.
That's good.
Go for it.
Okay. No, the next meeting, any new business? Got enough business?
That was all I have.
I don't really have anything to do, you've got a few projects. Yeah, we'll walk tomorrow if you want. Open the meeting, mine down, both of us.
Yes.
Say hi to the
Put it in
guy,
my-
the neighbor
I'll
over
have to make
there
an
again.
Official folder and put it in a folder.
Mm.
He
so I
goes to,
don't lose it.
yeah, he goes to Florida, the next door neighbor, it's La Bon.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one, Becky and I were out there, and the guy comes walking down, hi, can I help you out? Oh, yeah. So, all about the pond.
Mm-hmm.
Now they dug it out and they're letting it fill in again. So, all right, what about the next meeting? Do we do it this year or next year?
Fine, going to January.
I don't think anything's pressing here. I mean, if we wanted to get together and work on the survey or something like that and get some extra time.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a call or whatever, give us all a call.
I'll get a workshop in between too, that's okay.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
can try to do that.
All right.
So 120?
Yeah, 1/20/2020.
Did you want me to call
Martin
Beth and
Luther
see if we
King
can?
Jr. Day.
Hmm?
That's Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh,
Oh, that doesn't work.
yeah.
Is that
yeah,
It's a holiday.
something, yeah. What about the one before? I don't,
The one after, the one before?
know.
13th is good for me. 27th is good for me.
You can do the 13th.
I'm retired.
Busy.
13th, can you do 13th? Okay.
As far as I know, yeah. Okay. 1/13/2020. All right.
Yes, and if you would get a hold of Beth, that would be good.
You want to do Beth?
Sure.
Our new vice chair. She's been vice chair before.
Okay, so the next meeting is 13.
Yep.
So Ellen, make sure Ellen knows.
Yeah, yeah, I'll email her and tell her.
She's got a busy year.
Yeah, she's getting me hitched. Another one bites the dust. And we do it for women now.
Making a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Let's
Second.
make this official. All
Yes.
those in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
We're adjourned.